write a book on it by now, all right? But for our guests, it'll be relatively new. My name is Dave Savula, and I make my home in the North Georgia mountains, about 55 miles northeast of Atlanta, Georgia, on a pretty little place called Lake Lanier. Some of you might have heard about it. Over the last couple of years, we had a little water issue. We were down about 20 feet. That's pretty serious. The ducks were landing short. And, skip roll, skip roll, skip roll. Well, anyway, you'll get that on the way home. But you probably pick up, I don't have a good southern accent because Georgia's not my original home. I grew up in the state of Ohio, not too far from a very famous landmark called Kent State University, in a small little village called Mogadore, Ohio. Population of about 4,500 people 40 years ago, and it's still 4,500. They actually replaced me. And but my wife Beverly and I actually grew up in this little village. In fact, we grew up on the same street, exactly 10 houses from each other. I've actually known my wife Beverly since she was 5 years of age. And many of you, when you'll meet my wife Beverly, she's exactly the same size now as when she was 5. She's only about this big. In fact, first time I ever saw my wife Beverly, she was actually standing up in the back seat of her dad's car waving at me as she passed the house. And I told her a few years ago, I said, what's interesting is you can still do that. But we've been married now, as of last Monday, 41 years. And I do want to recognize somebody here tonight, and I know she's going to be a little embarrassed with this, but I had a young lady come up and introduce herself to me a few minutes ago, but her and I actually graduated from high school together in the little town of Mogadore, Ohio. Janet Burkholder, would you please stand up? All right. Give her a big round of applause. She can tell you some real stories about the real Dave Savula, all right? Because actually she grew up in the same, you were on Oregon Street too, right? Yeah. She grew up in the same street I grew up, so what a surprise tonight. Would you all agree? Yeah. Pretty incredible. But when the big snowstorms hit in '78, good Lord said go south, and we packed it up and headed down to Georgia with our 2 sons, which obviously today are grown men. And with that comes some other blessings, including 3 grandchildren, which I have a lot of fun with. Somebody once said that would be a changing event in your life. I said, it's not going to be that big a deal, but it's a big deal, all right? How many here tonight have ever been through Toys R Us? How many actually, after you went through there, stood out in the parking lot for a few minutes and looked back and felt violated, all right? They got things in there a 2-year-old can drive out in, all right? I'm also very actively involved in the community of Marietta, Georgia. I do a lot with kids and youth programs, and I've been coaching football for over 30 years now, and I do it as a hobby. In fact, it's a funny story, but I've never left the football field since 1959. I played on the very first Ohio People's Championship football team in 1959 in the state of Ohio, and as a result of it, for some odd reason, I continue to be around the game all my life. And we helped put together a program in Georgia a number of years ago, which today is one of the largest in the United States. We've got about 8,000 kids playing football on any given Saturday, and we've just now increased 9 more teams, so we'll probably be up to 12,000. And just so all of you know, I am the most winning coach in Georgia. All right? No way you can check it out anyway. So but I've got 12 kids right now playing Division I college football, and I've got 2 that played on national TV over the bowl games. A linebacker for Stanford and a fullback for Oklahoma State University. And a couple of these guys are going to wind up going to the NFL, which I'm very, very proud of. So tonight, that's my Dun & Bradstreet, and really all you need to know about me. As a guest here tonight, what we want to do is really share a lot of good and important information with you, why you take a look at a business model such as Preview Legal Services. And I'm sure many of you have been drug out too many in your lifetime before, as I have, and unfortunately there's a lot of hoopla, but when people leave they don't get much facts, and I think that's a violation. So tonight we're going to load you up with a lot of really good business reasons why you take a look at a business such as Preview Legal Services. And I want to start off talking about the number 1 reason. Today, obviously, the news media, over the last couple of years, we've heard a lot of negative factors about companies. Would you all agree? In fact, it might have affected right here in Indianapolis and other parts of the country where I travel around that have been affected. I mean, companies we thought were going to be here forever all of a sudden aren't here anymore. They ran out of money, and the so-called warm blanket of corporate America has gotten yanked off a lot of people, as many of us well know, all right? And today, I think if you're going to take a look at a business model, the most important criteria is that model better be a company that's not only strong today in the economic situation we're in, but is going to be strong years from now. And Prepaid Legal, ladies and gentlemen, has a very impressive pedigree. And for our guest tonight, we're nearly a 40-year-old company. Along with that, we're a publicly traded company, listed on the big board on the New York Stock Exchange and under the symbol PPD. I have a little fun with this because I always tell you, because if you can't remember PPD, just remember, please pay Dave. All right? And By the way, they've done that very well, all right? But it gives you the opportunity to do your due diligence, and I think you'll be impressed with the information about our company today. In fact, just about every major magazine throughout North America is continuously writing about our company. Forbes magazine, the November issue, came out with a report about the top 100 businesses, small businesses in America. I'm very proud to say Prepaid Legal made that list. Along with that, we've actually made Forbes top 200 9 straight years in a row. And some of you might be familiar with a very well-known financial research firm by the name of the DeMarkey firm. And that firm each year comes out with the top 100 companies. Prepaid Legal made that list this year, along with Nike, Coca-Cola, Microsoft, Walmart, Best Buys, all the big conglomerates in the world we're rubbing shoulders with. Yet tonight might be your very first exposure to our company. And if you do go to USA Today, there's an old article, but I think it's worthy of looking at. The year was 2007. The date was August 22nd. And you can download the front page of USA Today, the archives, and you'll find 3 companies in the world that were recognized for the largest stock percentage growth over a 15-year period of time. Very proud to say Prepaid Legal was one of those 3 companies with over a 4,300% increase in stock growth, ladies and gentlemen. And again, we're very, very excited about that kind of recognition. I had the opportunity of serving on the board of directors of Prepaid Legal for 2 terms. And it's always exciting to get a call from Wall Street congratulating your company that's had a profitable quarter. And for our guests tonight, we just reported another one. That's 18 straight years in a row. When other companies are trying to find a quarter, we're reporting good ones, all right? And we're very proud of that. And you know, why is that important right now? It's important because of the downtrend of the economic valley that we're in, a recession, or you can call it whatever you want to call it. When your company's still boasting and posting great profits, it should tell you a lot about the security factor of our company today, and there must be a reason that's all happening, and I'm going to share that with you in just a few minutes. But we're a cash-rich company, and when you got money, you can do a lot of great things. We recently built a new facility in our little town of Ada, Oklahoma, where Prepaid Legal makes its home. That's about 90 miles south of Oklahoma City. I mean, it's an apple pie, American flag little town. I always have a little fun with it because it's the only town I've ever been in is spelled the same on the way in as it is the rearview mirror on the way out. But they had hundreds of thousands of square foot of new building that we built on 87 acres as a real tribute to what's happening with our company. And along with that, we bought another 80,000 square feet of operating space down the road for future growth. So we're a company today that has maybe just a little different broadcast, news broadcast than what you hear on Fox Network or CNN. We're not boarding up buildings, we're building new ones, all right? We're not laying people off, we're hiring more people. And truly, ladies and gentlemen, we're an American-made product, and we're very proud of that. So tonight, the number one reason you choose a business is the financial infrastructure. We've been here 40, we're getting ready for the next great 40 is what it comes down to, all right? Second reason you choose an industry is timing of an industry. Now here's some facts I'm going to load you up tonight. 200 lawsuits are filed every minute in America. 3 times more lawsuits in our country tonight than people being admitted to the hospital. And a number of years ago, the American Bar Association did a report that 52% of our country has an ongoing legal problem. Everybody right now, just take a quick glance at the person to the right of you. They have a problem. Now, how many knew that before you invited them tonight, right? How many agree it won't be long if you're looking back to the left? Would you all agree, all right? What we have in our country tonight is we have an epidemic, we have an unbalance. And anytime there's ever been an epidemic or an imbalance, we've found a way to correct the problem. And I want to take you back 60 years ago to the birth of 2 industries that all of you in this room are very familiar with. In fact, you'll never be without. But at one time in our country was unfounded. I want to take you back to the birth of medical coverage just for a second. You know, why do we have medical coverage today? When you think of it, probably right here in Indianapolis back in the early 1900s, some guy probably walked into a doctor's office carrying a chicken. All right? An hour later, he leaves the doctor's office. Chicken's missing, so is one of his teeth. Would you all agree? All right? But that's the way services were rendered way back then. You know, doctors were not collecting animals to get paid. But unfortunately, they got a little tired of that. They didn't go to college to get cows, chickens, and pigs. All right? What they wanted was money. But unfortunately, incomes of our country was not keeping up with the rising cost of medical services. And the history books will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that people lost their homes, their life savings, their farms, because they could not afford to pay their bills. Now, I don't know who the brilliant person was, but somebody came along back in the 1950s and said, hey, look, not everybody's going to get sick at the same time. So what if we could create a system where people could pay a small amount of money into each month, and with that money, we'll build this large cash reserve, and with that reserve, when people do get sick, they can tap into it and go get services rendered. We named that industry, ladies and gentlemen, the medical and insurance industry. Now, my question to all of you here tonight, how many agree that that industry will probably be with us forever? How many here tonight would love to have been the founding fathers of the medical insurance industry? How many agree had you been the founding fathers, you would have skipped this meeting tonight?
Probably.
All right, but everybody write this down. You missed it. Now, not too long after that came another industry, and obviously you all arrived in it tonight, and that's your automobile, all right? Now, I grew up back in the 1960s. I had a 1965 GTO, and ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to have a little sucker back, actually, all right? But today, a bumper on a Mercedes-Benz costs more than that car cost out of the showroom in 1965. So all of a sudden, more cars created another imbalance in our country, more automobile wrecks. With that, a higher cost of repairs. Income's not keeping up with that. We've got to find a solution to the problem. So who do we have to copy? The medical insurance industry. Let's create the same system. Not everybody's going to wreck their car at the same time. So let's create systems where people can pay a small amount of money into each month. With that, we'll build a cash reserve. And when 10 out of 100 people do wreck their car, they can tap into that and go get their vehicle repaired. We obviously named that industry the automobile insurance industry. Now, again, my question to all of you, how many agree that that industry will also be with us forever? How many here tonight would love to be the founding fathers? How many agree had you been the founding fathers, you'd have skipped this meeting tonight? But again, everybody write this down. You missed it. Right? Now, ladies and gentlemen, the facts are very clear tonight. There are more legal problems in North America tonight than there are both medical and automobile combined. And we simply have another imbalance. The incomes of our country have not kept up with the rising cost of legal fees, which, by the way, today on a national average, are slowly closing in on $300 an hour. So if you have a greater unbalance than both medical and automobile combined, and we found a solution to that, doesn't it make a great deal of sense that sooner or later somebody's going to come along and create a system where you and I can pay a small amount of money into each month, with that build a large cash reserve, and with that reserve, when people needed access to the legal system, they could tap into that and go get services rendered. We named that industry, ladies and gentlemen, prepaid legal services. But fortunately for all of you here tonight, from a timing standpoint, you can write this one down. You did not miss this one, all right? And that is the second reason. The second reason you choose an industry is the timing of an industry. Now that you have the right company, now that you have the timing, the third reason is the market availability. How big of a market do we actually have to go after? Well, again, load you up with facts tonight, as I promised. 7% of the population in our country today can afford a legal system, which, by the way, I think has been depleted a little bit, all right? 93% of our country today cannot pick up the phone and talk to a lawyer today at a cost of $200 to $400 an hour. Now that 93%, there's a small portion on the public defender system, and if you've been doing any studying on that, it's self-destructed already itself. Right here in Indianapolis, you'll find people standing in courtrooms waiting for lawyers to show up. They don't even bother anymore because they don't get paid, all right? But I'll still take 10% out of the equation and leave us an 83% market plus the 7% wealthy. Now you might say, well, Dave, why are you going to lump the wealthy in? They can afford a legal system. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't care how wealthy anybody in this room is here tonight. Nobody wants to pay $300 to $400 an hour for anything, all right? And secondly, all of you know an attorney here tonight, but probably you don't want them to know your business, okay? And secondly, thirdly, they probably don't even practice the type of law that you're having a problem with, all right? And everybody say the word nationwide.
Nationwide.
How many remember that movie years ago called Field of Dreams? Remember that movie?
Mm-hmm.
Remember the scene where the ball player came up to the foul line and Kevin Costner, the actor, was on the other side? And for a fraction of a second, the ball player almost stepped over the line, but he looked down and caught himself because if he knew if he did, he could no longer go what? Go back. Now, ladies and gentlemen, tonight you probably have an attorney that's a friend of yours here in Indianapolis, he or she. But if you're down in Ohio and have a legal problem, or have a son or daughter somewhere, maybe in Michigan, and having a problem, when he or she, that lawyer, gets to the state line of Ohio or Michigan and steps over, they're no longer a practicing attorney. See, ladies and gentlemen, very few attorneys are multiple licenses in multiple states. But in prepaid legal, tonight I'm in your great state of Indiana. All right, I bought my membership in Georgia, but I have as much access here in Indiana as I do Georgia or anywhere else across the United States and now 5 provinces of Canada. So now we're going to lump that 7 in with that 83, gives us a 90% window of opportunity. How much of the window have we actually opened up? Well, fortunately today we have a lot of dignitaries involved in our company. Many of you may have gotten the word, some of you haven't, for our guest tonight. On March 14th, a couple weeks from now, I'll be in Washington, D.C. The United States Chamber of Commerce is honoring our company, Prepaid Legal Services, and opening up their doors because, again, they believe what we're doing is so critical and very important. We're now endorsed by the United States Chamber of Commerce, and along with that today, we have not only active attorney generals that own our membership, we have 3 former attorney generals that are part of our advisory council, including a very famous one by the name of Mike Moore, the great state of Mississippi, who won the largest case in the world against the tobacco industry. And the movie The Insider was cut from that court case, ladies and gentlemen. On national TV, Mike Moore quoted that we've only opened up 2% of the window of opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. So it's more or less tonight, you just cracked the window enough to get a slight little breeze that you can feel coming in. We still got 98% of that window to go. And that is the third reason you choose an industry is the market availability, and ours is unscathed and untouched. Fourth reason, competitive edge in the marketplace. You know, the world of athletics obviously have a competitive edge. Everybody's looking for it. Indiana's famous for its basketball, no question about it. They recruit some of the best players in the country. And the reason for it, people want to come here and play because of recognition, and, you know, coaching and whatever else goes along with all that. But recruiting is a big factor. Would you all agree in the world of athletics? And drafting, obviously, the pro ranks, right? Well, the athletic world is one place to have a competitive edge, but in the business world, it's absolutely essential. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, our company, Prepaid Legal, is the only, and I repeat, the only comprehensive legal program in North America. Nobody does what we do and how we do the types of law firms that we deal with. Now, as a guest here tonight, one of the first things that's going to come to your mind, as did mine when I was first introduced to this program, what kind of lawyers could possibly deliver a product for basically, or services for basically the price of a cup of coffee a day? You know, and again, I like you, I was thinking, well, these people must not even graduate from law school, all right, you know? But I was surprised to find out, and again, for our guests, load you up with information tonight. There's a book that all of you can download on the internet tonight or pick it up in the library. It's called Martindale Hubbell. That book was written back in the 1860s. That book is the grading scale for lawyers. Much like a hotel has a grading scale or a restaurant might have a star rating, the legal system has very similarities to that. And the top rating you can get for a lawyer in our country today is Martindale Hubbell AV rated. And I'm very proud to inform all of our guests here tonight that 95% of all the prepaid legal provider law firms, both U.S. and Canada, are all AV rated. So when you're picking up the phone today and talking to one of our attorneys, the odds are that lawyer has probably at least 10 years of experience, if not more. We can't deliver any better than what the system is delivering to itself at the present time. Now, everybody here tonight understand the game of football?
Yeah.
How many here tonight would like to have an offensive football team on the football field and the defense didn't show up?
Yeah.
Could you score? Detroit Lions might have a little trouble. You know, I had a little fun the other day. I was down in Cincinnati. And, you know, Cincinnati hadn't had a great year either. And I was doing a luncheon in Cincinnati, and many of you might remember a very famous football player out of Cincinnati named Icky Woods. How many remember Icky? The Icky Shuffle, remember that? Well, Icky was at my luncheon, and I was kind of having a little fun with Icky, and I said, Icky, I said, look, on the way here to our luncheon today, I got pulled over. He says, you did, Dave? I said, yep, I got 2 tickets. He says, 2 tickets? He said, how in the world did you get 2 tickets? I said, well, they gave me 2 tickets to the Bengals game, and my punishment was I had to go. After the meeting, he got real mad about that. Ladies and gentlemen, we're strictly an offensive movement in North America, and that's why tonight we're breaking records. Now, these 4 reasons, as a guest here tonight, are logical, intelligent reasons why you can take a look at a business model. And I would honestly tell you, that if these 4 things are not in place, you're probably not making a good business decision, all right? Now, why are we breaking records? Because of the product and service that we delivered. I'm going to walk you through that very quickly tonight. But I want to reset the stage. I am not here tonight to sell you on prepaid legal services. Somebody said, well, Dave, you just came all the way from South Carolina today to come up here, and you're telling us you're here to do this presentation tonight, and you're not here to sell us. And I said, that's right. Number one, this is not a product you sell. If you came here to think you're going to sell this product tonight, we're probably going to disappoint you, all right? This is a product that you inform the American population that it exists, all right? Too many of you tonight in this room have been sold too many things already. You ladies have a kitchen full of things you've been sold, am I right? You got crap in that kitchen you ain't never going to use, all right? You got plates people just look at. You got towels in your bathroom with your initials on them. When guest comes, you take them down. And you guys got a garage full of things you've been sold. In fact, most of you tonight can't even get your car in your garage. How many of you men here tonight have a socket set? Well, if you don't have one, buy one. It's not manly not to own a socket set, right? You know, I mean, nothing else. And here's what's interesting about it. How many sockets do you ever really use? About 3 of them. Would you all agree? Now, the most interesting part is you got $10,000 worth of craftsman tools sitting in your garage tonight, but when it comes to repairing your house, you don't even go there. You know where you go? Same place I do. You got a little drawer in the kitchen, a little drawer in the laundry room. You open it up, keep a hammer about this big in there, 3 screwdrivers, pair of pliers, and duct tape. Right? How many here tonight have duct tape holding something together right now? There you go. Might be the very pants you got on here this evening, right? Ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen, here in the great state of Indiana, we deliver a 5-title program that covers you and your family nationwide, including full-time college students way at school up to the age of 23 and disability children, no matter what their age may be. We do that for $26 a month. Now, let me walk you through our titles, okay? First of all, we're going to start off with Title 1, which is our preventative area of law. Now, we can start here, stop here, and go home real quick, all right? Because we start off with unlimited phone consultation. Now, I have to honestly tell you, when the gentleman sat me down and explained this program to me many years ago, and he said, unlimited phone consultation, I stopped him. I said, now wait a minute. I said, you're telling me today and here in the great state of Georgia, I can pick up the phone, I can call a major law firm, I'm going to get by the secretary, all right? And I'm not going to have to make an appointment, and I'm not going to be billed $200 to $400 an hour for the conversation I'm about to have. And they said, that's right. And I said, you're telling me I can call as many times a month as I like. If I had 20 different subject matters, I'd call 20 different times. They said, that's right. And so one of my sons is playing baseball at South Carolina. And I says, he's over there playing baseball in that state. I said, if he's got a legal problem in South Carolina, and I says, he can pick up the phone in South Carolina and do exactly the same thing I did in Georgia, he's not going to get a bill, and Dad's not going to get one either. And they said, that's right. I said, sign me up. I said, look, I'm not the brightest light bulb in this room here tonight, okay? But mathematically, I can figure something out. And I'm going to give you a test here tonight, test number 1. I'm going to give you 3 little tests, but here's test number 1. If you pass this test, we're going to allow you to drive home. If not, we're going to call a cab or confiscate your car keys right now, all right? How many here, first of all, believe that 95% of most legal problems right now in our country could be eliminated if people just had the ability to have access to the legal system today? All right?
Absolutely.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, here's the question for you. Here's the test. How many would rather pay $300 an hour to talk to an attorney today in Indiana, or have unlimited access for your entire family nationwide for $300 a year? Did anybody fail this test? I didn't think so. Ladies and gentlemen, again, the power of this today, and by the way, our law firm's intakes are up about 15% right now in the last 2 years, and those are just life event issues that are dealing with our country right now. Credit issues, job loss issues, real estate foreclosure issues, things our families are dealing with in our country today. They need to know what their rights are. The power of this by itself, we could all go home right now. But it gets better. Also under Title I, we're going to make phone calls on your behalf. How many believe a lawyer making a call will get a lot more done than you and I will? How many here tonight have ever had a bad neighbor? Maybe you are the bad neighbor. But, you know, how many have ever had a neighbor with a barking dog? Sure, a lot of you have, right? You call up Bob, say, hey, Bob, the dog's keeping us awake all night long. How about taking the dog, put him in another part of the house? Well, Bob doesn't really like you anyway, all right? So next time you look out the window, the dog's tied to your front door. Okay, all right? Now, the problem is you can call Bob all day long, but Bob don't like you. Bob not going to respond to your calls at all. But how many of you, a major law firm in Indiana, made that call to Bob next door, read him a few ordinances and violations? How many believe Fido might have a different place to live, all right? But ladies and gentlemen, again, that call's not made at $200 to $400 an hour. It's all part of your monthly membership in the world of private legal. And right now, many of you are thinking back years ago of issues that you dealt with that you had to not deal with because the system was too expensive. And as a result of today, now we're being able to do what? Put you in the ball game is what it comes down to, right? Also under Title I, we're going to write letters on your behalf. Now, how powerful is that? Well, that's like having a muscle you haven't used in years. How many here tonight would join a health spa if you knew somebody else would work out for you and you got the muscle? They have that in California now. They have everything in California. All right? Would it be nice to send somebody out the track tonight, run 6 miles, you lost 6 pounds? Wouldn't that be a great deal? I can certainly use it right now. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, maybe a warranty has been honored. Somebody didn't show up to finish the job. You got an overbilling of the situation. You write a letter, you feel good about it, but unfortunately your letter goes to the same department everybody else's letter goes to, right? But when a major law firm with the lawyers listed left and right-hand corner write that letter, how many believe that goes to an entirely different department? And how many agree they probably by law have to respond to that? But you know, ladies and gentlemen, that letter's not written at $200 to $400 an hour. It's all part of your monthly membership fee. And again, it's not what we've dealt with in the past, it's what we're getting ready to deal with in the future, and the power of our system today. Not here to sell you, again to inform you that this product exists in our country today. Also under Title I, document review, all right? Don't you dare sign a thing today that's not been reviewed by an attorney. Why? Because lawyers wrote it. So if a lawyer wrote it, don't you think it's a good idea to have another lawyer review it? If you're not a lawyer, you're probably not the person who should be reading that. I just had a personal incident in our own family, and I'll just tell you real quickly how this happened. My oldest son, David, happens to have a farm that he purchased up in the North Georgia mountains, and he was purchasing another 30 acres beside this farm. And as a result of it, it was a foreclosure type of issue, so he was online doing the bidding and so forth. And he won the bid, okay? Make a long story short, he won the bid, all right? So the documents came, and the documents showed 30 acres, okay? Well, that was basically what the instructions were. But it also referred to Exhibit A, which gave the description of property, which was broke down into 20-acre tract and a 10-acre tract, but didn't simultaneously put the 30 together. So as a result of it, Exhibit A did not match the front page of the document. How many people think probably would have signed that, okay? But again, he sent that over to the law firm. They reviewed it. As a result, do not sign this until this is corrected and taken care of. He didn't have to pay $400 an hour to have that reviewed. All part of the membership in the world of prepaid legal, and he now owns that property today because the documents were done correctly. All right? Makes sense to everybody? All right? Okay, but again, somebody would have risked the signature of that possibly. All right? But that's why I say today, the complications of the world we live in, make sure you have that reviewed. Also under Title I, ladies and gentlemen, 90% of you in this room tonight do not have a will. 100% of our population need it, but only 10% of you in this room tonight actually have a will. And I already know the facts, so I'm not going to make anybody stand up, but I can tell you this for sure. The Twin Tower tragedy, 80% of the people who perished in the Twin Towers did not have wills. And you've got to believe that was a great deal of educated people. Would you all agree? Yeah. The problems that were created from that are just unbelievable. And again, ladies and gentlemen, it's the last love letter we leave our family members. And many of you have young children here tonight. Some of you are my age and may have even moved from state to state. And your will might not even be adequate in the state of Indiana. So we need to understand that today, all right? And it's an important factor, but we provide full wills for both husband and wife, ladies and gentlemen. And along with that, the medical directive and a living will also. And along with that, we update and review them each year also. So you can change it every year if you so desire. But you know what? You really can't put a price on that when you start multiplying those years after years after years. Well, let's just say it's a $2,000 value. How many here tonight, and this is your second test, how many here tonight would give me $26 if I gave you back $2,000?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yep.
All right, everybody hear that clearly?
Yeah.
All right. Now, if you don't like that investment, 2 years ago, you could have gave Wall Street $2,000, and it gave you back $26. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, we deliver that as part of the membership of the World of Prepaid Legal, and free is a good word. Would you all agree? Mm-hmm. Free is good. I'll tell you how good word free is. Tonight, if you left this meeting room in this hotel tonight, the Hilton, had a sign out front that says, all rooms at the Hilton tonight were free. Now, some of you only live a couple minutes away from here. How many going to be calling home from here? Why mess up your bed? Right? You know? Right? Unless you get breakfast in the morning, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to Title II, Motor Vehicle Related. How many here tonight have a teenage driver? How many of you actually drive like a teenager? How many of you are convinced there are no speed limits in America? If you ride with Keith, you won't even find any roads. That's another story. I'll tell you about it later on, all right? All right. I honestly believe, I've been on your highways, I honestly believe the signs that are out there are wasted metal. I think they're an eye test. Do you all agree with me? 55, 70, how many agree that's an eye test? If you're going down the interstate, somebody's actually doing 55, you know what's sad? You give them a dirty look as you pass. But some of you may or may not be aware of this tonight, and when I was made aware of it, nobody had to sell me on prepaid legal. Because, ladies and gentlemen, criminal offenses are not covered by the insurance company. So if your son or daughter's in an automobile wreck tonight and a life is taken, they're charged with manslaughter, vehicle homicide, and negligent homicide, the insurance company will take care of the claim and the settlement factor. But when it comes to the criminal offense, you are on your own. With prepaid legal, ladies and gentlemen, as long as that kid was not on drugs or you weren't on drugs or drinking, we'll represent you, win, lose, or draw, any courtroom, anywhere in the country, no matter what the cost is. If it costs $100,000 to defend that child, it's all going to be part of your $26 monthly membership here in the state of Indiana. How many would rather pay $26 than $100,000? Would you all agree? And I hope tonight I don't have to sell you on that, all right? Also under Title II, we'll even go after suspended driver's license up to 2.5 hours per occurrence. We'll go after claims related to the automobile and personal injury of 2,000 under nuisance things that could happen right out here in the parking lot tonight. But something else under Title II has been very significant in my lifestyle, and some of you will be able to relate to this tonight. As Keith introduced me tonight, I do have the distinction of being the #1 income earner in the world of prepaid legal. But I also have another distinction. I am the #1 ticket holder in the world of prepaid legal. Just about everywhere I go, I get a speeding ticket, all right? But though I've gotten probably more speeding tickets than most of you in this room here combined tonight, according to the state of Georgia and my insurance company, I'm considered a safe driver. And I'm agree they're the only ones that count. Would you all agree? You know, I recently built a home on a little island in South Carolina, a little beach. I built a beach home in a little island called Pawleys Island in South Carolina. Some of you might know where that's at. It's a famous old island, and And I built this beach house about 5 years ago. In fact, that's where I was this morning. But I was coming, every time I come down from Georgia down to South Carolina, I go through this little town called Kingstree, South Carolina, where I've now been stopped 3 times by the same officer in Kingstree, South Carolina. True story now. Now, the first 2 times he's given me a ticket. Now, this 3rd time he pulled me over, he came up to my window. It's kind of funny because he said, "Well, Dave," he knows me by name. He says, "I see you going to your beach house." And I says, "Officer Crumb," I know him by name too. And I said, "Officer Crumb, you're not going to give me another ticket, are you?" I said, "Officer Crumb, you're not going to give me another ticket, are you?" And he says, No. He says, "I'm not going to give you another one, although you're speeding again." He says, "Those last 2 tickets I gave you, I had to go to court." He says, "Who are you?" How many agree legal representation makes a difference? Would you all agree? See, ladies and gentlemen, I took those little tickets back from King Street back to Georgia, and in turn got the lawyers in King Street to represent me in traffic court. Kept my driving record still perfectly clean. And you know what? Didn't have to spend $200 to $400 an hour. All part of the monthly membership in the world of prepaid legal. I know I'm not going to move. You know what? Again, the power of this. But the best story came out in Oregon. I was out in Eugene, Oregon one day, and I had about 4 or 5 hours to kill one afternoon. The reason I want to tell you our guests this story, so you get a little impact of how our service really works. I was in Eugene, Oregon, had about 4 or 5 hours to kill one afternoon. I decided I was going to rent a car and drive from Eugene, Oregon, over to Florence, Oregon, all right? Which is about 50 miles away. I was going to have lunch on the coastline, which I had never seen. I wanted to see the Oregon coastline. And it was a beautiful day, much like today here in the... that's all right, I'll hang up there, okay? It was a beautiful day, much like here today in Indianapolis, all right? So I rented this car, went scooting out of Eugene Airport on what I thought was an abandoned highway. And I was trucking along pretty good. When all of a sudden I looked in my rearview mirror and I saw this car coming up real fast, lights were flashing, the sirens were roaring. And I thought to myself, well, there must be a serious accident up ahead. All right? So I said, I'll just pull off the side of the road and let this officer go out. In fact, I actually rolled down my window and went like this to the officer so he could fire. Well, when I pulled off the side of the road, so did he. Now, this is no disrespect to any law officers might be in our meeting here tonight, but how many here tonight have ever saw the movie Smokey and the Bandit? Well, let me tell you something. When this law officer stepped out of his vehicle, he was an exact duplicate of Jackie Gleason. I mean, this was Buford T. Justice right down to the tip of his toe. In fact, if this guy would have had to go for his gun, in my personal opinion, it would have took 20 minutes. I still swear to this day he had on an ankle holster. I've never seen a gun hang that low. And I said, "Officer," I said, "there's no need to stop me. I know exactly where I'm going." I was having a great day. He did not think that was funny. Now, he gave me a ticket. Was I guilty? It was questionable. When I looked at my speedometer, I was stopped. That's on speed road. But here's the point for our guests tonight. I'm now 2,600 miles away from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm in a remote area of Eugene, Oregon, in the backwoods, and now I've got a speeding ticket. Now, how many here would have just paid a fine, went on with life, knowingly or unknowingly, just pleaded guilty to crime, and it actually stays on your record for a number of years and actually affects job applications in our country? Well, now I'm a prepaid legal member. So I take that ticket, I fly back to Atlanta, Georgia. I send that ticket over to our provider law firm, as you would do here in Indiana, who in turn sends it back out to the provider law firm in Portland, Oregon, who in turn now hires the referral attorney in Eugene, Oregon, a gentleman by the name of Edwin Spiney, who by this way to this very day who I've never met. But let me tell you what Mr. Spiney did on my behalf. He researched the Georgia statutes, he found out they were different than the Oregon statutes, and he found out the speed I was going in Oregon was still going to apply a 2-point penalty to my driver's license in Georgia. Now, he wrote me this letter, and until you see this letter form, do you have any understanding what traffic court is all about? But here's how the letter was written. It said, "Dear Mr. Savula, I appeared on your behalf at your trial." Trial. He says, "Upon conviction." How many agree those are 2 words you don't want to read? He says, "Upon conviction, you're going to have a 2-point penalty on your driver's license in the state of Georgia." He said, "But I would like for you to know I was successful in negotiating on your behalf, was able to reduce that speed below the point system required in the state of Georgia. You will have no points on your driver's license, nor do you owe the Eugene court system any additional money. Thank you, Mr. Edwin Spiney." Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, for our guests here tonight, 2,600 miles away, I had legal representation by a lawyer I've never met to this very day. Kept my drive record clean, my insurance rates are still the best, and all that costs my monthly membership in the world of private legal services. And again, how many here tonight have ever been in traffic court? All right, how many here tonight have children who've been in traffic court? How many have children been in traffic court and you didn't know it? That's right. Yeah, little Johnny's got more points in his driver's license right now than he ever scored in an Indiana basketball game, right? Representation makes a difference. Again, tonight, everybody say, get ready.
Get ready.
Y'all get ready to get a ticket. No question about it, right? Let's go on to Title 3, trial of defense. Anybody getting sued? I already gave you the facts. 200 lawsuits filed every minute in America. Ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing sacred today in regards to lawsuits. Remember years ago, when that little lady spilled that cup of coffee in herself at McDonald's and was awarded $4 million? We thought that was the craziest, stupidest thing in all the world when we heard that. Actually, we all got mad about it. Because when you think about it, had you known you got $4 million, how many would have just took that coffee and just thrown it all away? How many would have sent it back for a reheat? Maybe the guy beside you needed $1 million. Here's the one here, right? You know what's interesting? Doesn't even make the top 10 anymore today. We have teachers. Do we have any teachers in our audience here today? Well, they're probably home trying to do some studying, right? The fact of the matter is, a teacher today cannot have a closed-door conversation with a student. They have to have the principal administrator there because they could be accused of something. Their job loss could be forever, all right? Pastors of churches dare not do the same. Ladies and gentlemen, I coach football. It's not like it was when I grew up back in the 1960s, okay? Today, we have to have a heat index machine on our football field, or what they call a wet ball. Some of you athletes know what I'm talking about. But yet today, many of your kids are playing organized sports and you don't even see one of these around, all right? Yet that Kentucky coach could have went to jail for 20 years of his life last year because that young man died on that football field. But rightfully so, I personally, as much protection as we can give a person out there is very important. I actually have a gentleman who stands beside me during our practices with our 6th, 7th, and 8th grade football teams, and every 15 minutes he gives me a reading. And if that reading is not correct, then ladies and gentlemen, I stop that practice immediately because could you imagine me standing in front of a judge and a little boy has died because of heat stroke and he's asking me if I have a wet bulb on my field and I say no? How would you possibly know what the heat index is, would be, Coach Savula? Under those circumstances, I guarantee you, my life would be changed dramatically, so would many other family members, which is great. We had a coach arrested a few years ago, 10 years ago, for shaking a kid's face mask. Now, how many of you former football players remember that was a normal way of conversation between you and a coach? You know that? Now, there's a couple of you in here don't remember that because when you played, there weren't any face masks. All right? Those are the guys with the self-adjusting noses. All right? That coach was handcuffed, taken to jail, and charged with child abuse, ladies and gentlemen. Today, under our Title 3 trial defense, the first year we give you 75 hours. 17 and a half hours, that's pre-trial, 57 and a half hours in the courtroom. At $200 to $300 an hour, it's about a $20,000 value. Now, here's your third and last test of the evening. How many here tonight would give me $26 if I gave you back $20,000? If you flunk that test, we're in real problems, all right? But it gets better. The second year, we take the hours up to 140. Third year, we take it up to 205. Fourth year to 270. And the fifth year and every year after that, you've got a restart of $335 every year after that. But a very important footnote to all of our guests in this audience here tonight. In the 39, 40-year history of our company, we have never raised our rates to our existing clients. That means 10 years from now, you'll be paying $26 a month, ladies and gentlemen. Legal fees will have doubled, maybe even tripled by that point in time. Did you make a good business decision? All right? How many here tonight would have liked to lock gasoline prices in just 2 weeks ago? Yeah. All right? How about 1970 when the average cost of gasoline was 44 cents a gallon across the board? Not too long, we might see $4 gasoline again. Would you all agree? When you pull up the gas pump, what are you going to see on top of it? Kleenex boxes. You're going to be crying at $4 a gallon. Would you all agree? Get your windshield. Ladies and gentlemen, again, the power of this tonight is why we're breaking records this evening, okay? Again, let's go on to Title 4, IRS audits. Will audits go up? Certainly they're going to go up. And I want to repeat something. I want to just skip back for a second because every day I get more statistics that are interesting. You know, speeding tickets as an example. You know, a lot of your cities and municipalities today are only surviving because they can continue to do that. And they're increasing it because they need the revenue in order to do what? To keep going. Commerce, Georgia, not too far from my home in the North Georgia mountains, issued 1,000 tickets last month. 1,000. Now we're talking about a little small town. It's almost required that the officers give a ticket every hour on the hour. Okay? So I want everybody to think about that. So what happens with our government now when we talk about IRS? Do they need a little bit more money? All right, okay? The fact of the matter is you might get named in a full audit. And ladies and gentlemen, the odds are pretty good. And if you do, how many believe it's probably not a field of play you're qualified to be on? That's not my coaching area, okay? You want an expertise in that area. And with prepaid legal, if you're named in that full audit, we give you the opportunity to have that. To have a tax attorney available for you to help you. And if you don't like the outcome of that, we'll even give you another 50 hours to challenge that. Still all part of the $26 monthly membership fee. Again, the power of what our service is. And then the last of our 5 titles is a 25% discount on services rendered by a law firm. But even in this case, we cover drug and alcohol and pre-existing problems. And keep in mind tonight that 52% of your country has a legal problem as I speak to you right now. So tomorrow when you're on the interstate, I don't care what interstate you're on, if you're going eastbound, everybody westbound's got a problem. You're going northbound, everybody to southbound lane's got a problem. Half your population in our country tonight have a legal problem. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to open up the doors to the most expensive country club in the world. And it's not Pebble Beach in California. It's a legal country club of our country. You get a chance to play that course immediately tomorrow morning. After hours, we have a product called the Legal Shield. Profiling is a big thing. How many of you have ever heard the word profiling? How many believe you ever been profiled? Well, every time I'm stopped by a law officer, the first thing I say to them, you're profiling me. When Officer Crump pulled me over on the side of the road in King Street, South Carolina, he came up to my window and I said, you're profiling me. And he says, I'm what? I said, you're profiling me. He said, now why would you say that? And I said, well, officer, that car in front was going a lot faster than me or I'd have caught him. He didn't think about it for a second. Everybody say Miranda rights.
Miranda rights.
When did you ever hear that word? You're the one who got court TV. You never recited that poem in high school unless it was read directly to you. Alright? Profiling. Teenage kid in a red car Friday night after midnight. Okay? Now, ladies and gentlemen, again, everybody, all of us are targeted now because, again, just the fact they got to get tickets. Would you agree? Well, let's assume that your son or daughter's pulled over at 1 o'clock in the morning and law officers have a very difficult time. Okay? Tough job. I wouldn't want to pull anybody with broad daylight, let alone 1 o'clock in the morning. But that law officer is going to ask for proof of insurance, driver's license, and registration. They're going to supply that. But along with that, they're going to hand that law officer a little card called Legal Shield. And it's going to inform that law officer at 1 o'clock in the morning the individual in this vehicle is a prepaid legal member, and they know what their Miranda rights are. And it very boldly states this law officer, if it's your intention to question, detain, or arrest me, please allow me to call my attorney immediately. Ladies and gentlemen, here in the great state of Indiana, we have a lawyer on staff at 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the morning to take this call on your behalf. And how many believe that might set a different standard on how issues and things are handled on the side of the road just by allowing that law officer to know that you have access to the legal system? Would you all agree? And you know what's so interesting about this? We added this product for $1 extra a month. Now, I can't buy a Coca-Cola in a machine down here for $1 in this hotel. But we're going to get an AV-rated attorney on the phone at 1 o'clock in the morning. There is no greater value anywhere in this country than what we have right now, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why tonight we are breaking records on a national and international basis, and why the 5th reason you choose an industry, write this down mentally or on a piece of paper, you want to be ahead of a trend. And that's why our new partners involved with Prepaid Legal today, who some of the greatest minds in really the financial world today, have chosen to get involved with Prepaid Legal Service because they believe we're on the top wave of where this opportunity is about to go. So hang on, gang. We're getting ready for some extraordinary growth. And that's why tonight this presentation is so critically important. Now, we're not going to be here much longer tonight, but I want to talk about another service also ahead of a trend. We had a company actually approach Prepaid Legal a number of years ago by the name of Kroll back around America. Now, anybody in this room, if you have any high government clearances, more than likely Kroll did a background check on you. They're the company today, ladies and gentlemen, same age Prepaid Legal, 39, 40 years of age, founded and formulated by a gentleman by the name of Jules Kroll, whose background was in the CIA. The Kroll company today is really the leader in the world in risk management, parentheses for this meeting tonight, identity theft. They have the largest database in the world and the largest group of fraud investigators in the world, and as a result of it, they're used by the world. A couple examples for our guests tonight. During the Kuwait crisis, when they were trying to find where Saddam Hussein hid all of his assets all over the world, Kroll was brought in. And I got to believe the news things that we're seeing in Libya and so on and so forth, somehow Kroll's going to be involved in trying to find where all their assets have been hidden across the world today too, all right? During the Enron crisis, Kroll was brought in because it was a tangled web of issues and challenges. Kroll was able to really unwind all that. During the Twin Tower tragedy, unfortunately, Kroll was brought in. Right now, our space shuttle's back up there, okay? Going to come back in. When it does, the security blanket provided around that re-entry factor is provided by Kroll. Now, how many believe they're probably qualified to handle you tonight? Ladies and gentlemen, they're the big dog in the park, is what it really comes down to. Now, let me just say this to you. If you're going to go to a park, don't take a Chihuahua. No disrespect to you Chihuahua owners, okay, all right? But they bark a lot, bite very little. But if you go to the park with a pit bull off leash, how many of you are backing up, all right? Well, Crow happens to be the pit bull of the arena. Now, identity theft today, I don't have to tell anybody what's going on with it. Somebody say, well, I protect my identity. Forget it, it was over when you were born, okay? I have two friends that are border guards down in Tucson, Arizona. They're involved in our business. I asked them not too long ago what the circumstances were. They kind of gave me a fill-in. And I said, well, how many people do you catch? And they said, well, they gave me the numbers. But they said, Dave, when we do catch them, they already have medical identification numbers with them and Social Security numbers already with them. So it's over, is what it comes down to, right? Your Social Security number as an adult sells for about $500. Your 5-year-old child sells for $5,000 to $8,000. All right? Now, ladies and gentlemen, we need to understand what's really going on here. Kroll recognized the growing problem of identity theft was a tsunami that no wall could be built high enough to stop it. And they realized, ladies and gentlemen, that people that were going to experience identity theft were going to need access to attorneys. But at $200 to $400 an hour, it locked most people out of the system. So actually, Kroll came to visit us. We didn't go hunt them down. Their big dog showed up in Ada, Oklahoma. And as a result of it, ladies and gentlemen, we love what they had. They obviously love what we had. We created a marriage with Kroll. Yet the products can be marketed separately if you so desire. But the 1-2 punch is obviously them combined. All right? Now, first of all, here's what we do. All right? For $9.95, we're the best priced product in the world today. We cover both husband and wife. Okay? Not just one. And for an extra $1, those kids in the household up to the age of 18. All right? We do the day-to-day monitoring of those credit accounts are very critical and very important to everybody in this room. Which always want to be alerted when circumstances and something arises under those situations. But that's only about 21 to 24% of the problem of identity theft right now. The other very scary part of identity theft is tonight you go into the hospital here in Indianapolis and all of a sudden you're treated for something you never had before. And how could that have possibly happened? Because 6 months ago, somebody else with your identity was stolen out in California, has been compromising your medical benefits, and has a profile on you entirely different than what you really are. And those of you in the insurance industry, you know exactly what I'm talking about here in this room here tonight. Very scary factor today. Tonight, felony identity theft. You know, Mr. Brown here, is that your name? Right? Mr. Brown here tonight is pulled over on the side of the road this evening. Nice looking guy, right? Pulled him over. He takes his driver's license. The law officer comes back a few minutes later and asks Mr. Brown to vacate the vehicle. Now, how many believe that's a clue? Unless he's got a washcloth and a vacuum cleaner there, he ain't there to clean the car. Would y'all agree, all right? Well, what he did is he logged in, and unfortunately, Mr. Brown has a felony arrest warrant out for him. Now, he's never committed a crime in his life, but somebody else has. And as a result of it, he gets a chance to go to jail tonight. And do you think it's a pretty good idea to have this legal shield with you about that time? Because Mama ain't going to do you one bit of good on that phone. Okay, all right? You're going to need to be talking to a lawyer, basically, to give you what your rights are under those circumstances, ladies and gentlemen. Felony identity theft today is a pretty big factor. IRS incomes are being reported in your name. Some of you right now are working somewhere else right now, and incomes are being reported, but taxes aren't getting paid. And all of a sudden, you're going to wind up with an IRS problem, and again, that big dog hurts you, okay? And again, that's the other part of identity theft. Mortgages are being taken on people's names. We can be going on and on and on, but that's the other 79% of what identity theft is. Now, here's the big issue. When you do become a victim of identity theft, everybody say, just get ready. You're going to become a victim. Most of you are already victims right now. You don't want an 800 number with some 16-year-old kid trying to explain to you what this is about. All right? All right? You want the big dog in the park. And that's who Kroll is. And when you become a victim of identity theft, you will sign a limited power of attorney. Now, why is that important, critical? It's the only way true restoration exists. I have to give Tim here, who is the fraud investigator, the ability to go after that circumstances and correct it on my behalf. And the only way I can do that is sign a limited power of attorney. That gives him 90 days to restore my identity to go back to my full satisfaction. But you know what? If you're comfortably at work, don't you want the big dog working on your behalf? And ladies and gentlemen, that's why tonight we have the second product that's ahead of a trend. And that's why the financial world is pointing out very clearly that legal coverage and identity theft coverage are exactly parallel to where medical and automobile were 60 years ago. You and I missed those opportunities. We did not miss this tonight. Nobody in this country today will be able to survive without access to the legal system and identity theft coverage in our country today. And that's why tonight I'm here in Indianapolis, Indiana to share this business model with you this evening. Now let me end up our meeting tonight talking about the financial side of the program, all right? I was introduced to this business. Actually, I bought the product back in 1985. The gentleman came and shared this product with me in 1985. I used it. understood it, got my wills. Beverly and I, my wife and I got our wills and so forth. And it wasn't until the latter part of 1992, the beginning of 1993, that another gentleman came and sat me down and shared the business model with me. An old friend of mine took me to lunch one afternoon. All right? That gentleman had built in prepaid legal in about a 3-year period of time a very nice 6-figure residual income, which I thought was pretty impressive. Okay? All right? And he mentioned at that time Roger Staubach had became a shareholder of prepaid legal. And of course, I'm a big football fan, and Staubach was an Ohio boy originally, and obviously we know what Naval Academy, Heisman, and all the wonderful things. But most importantly, a very successful businessman. Those of you in the real estate industry know his commercial real estate operation was one of the largest in the world. All right? I met with Roger Staubach. I flew to Dallas, Texas, spent 2 hours with Roger, got a chance to see the Heisman. Man, that was important. All right? And he convinced me that 3 hours north of Dallas, Texas, in Ada, Oklahoma, was one of the most exciting companies I thought he ever saw. And he was really the closing factor for me to make the decision to get involved in prepaid legal. I went there, investigated. As a result, today I'm in business for myself in prepaid legal. Now, I was a business owner prior to prepaid legal, so I know what it is to have a large investment. I know what it is to have employees and location. That was, a little bit of my background. But today I've eliminated all those problems from my life, and now I have a home-based business. But I have the same tax deductions I once had as far as big business owners was concerned. And I would tell all of you tonight, if you're not in a home-based business, you're making a very huge mistake. Because it's one of the last frontiers of tax deductions every one of us have, including your mileage here and back home tonight, okay? But the investment in prepaid legal, none of you here tonight can spend a lot of money. In fact, it won't be long. This will be a tank of gas, all right? I know that's scary, all right? But our largest investment in prepaid legal has been what we call our Fast Start program, which is normally $249. Right now, for this month, for the month of March, we lowered it to $149. One-time investment. You're in the business. You own and operate your prepaid legal business. That gives you the material and information to start your business with. You don't pay that ever again. Along with that, you can get to go through the Fast Start training that's provided in this part of the country, okay? And with that, we even set your website up free of charge for the first 3 months. That means tomorrow morning, all of you can have a website already up and running, which, as I did today, directed people I was flying with to go to that website, take a look at what our membership was about, and even the opportunities available on that website, all right? So again, now that you're in business, you have the ability, again, operating out of the home. I have no employees anymore. My wife Beverly and I can argue all day long. It won't make a bit of difference, okay, all right? First one to the mailbox wins. That's our rule. I don't even get to handle a product because both prepaid and Kroll handle both the products, deliver service, and maintain it. And you'll only generally sign a person up how many times in a lifetime? Once. But with that, we pay you now advanced commissions for marketing these two services, and we pay you every day. Direct deposits, your checking account and savings account every single day, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know about you, but I consider that the happy mailbox syndrome. Would you all agree? And when you get paid every day, it is happy mailbox. In fact, most of you move your house closer to your mailbox. Some of you might move into the mailbox. Right? That's the first way of developing income. The second way of developing income is leveraging your opportunity. The word leverage either is used against you or it can be used for you. All right? Good example of this, when you go into work tomorrow morning, you're being leveraged. Okay? But when you go down that highway and you see McDonald's and Holiday Inns, that's another example of leverage. Those opportunities were created so other people can own, operate, and profit from them, but they expanded them worldwide. And they earn an override on helping those businesses continue to grow. The gentleman who brought me in prepaid legal took me to a $2.89 lunch in 1993. To this day, he's made $10 million for taking me to that $2.89 lunch. Now, how many would like to have taken me to lunch? I would like to take it myself. All right? But ladies and gentlemen, as you help develop the business model, you earn an override on the production that your organization produces, and that is also paid every day. But the long-term factor is residual income. Now, I want to hit you right between the eyes tonight, because your retirement plans in most companies today are slowly becoming non-existent. 401ks are not being matched. And many of you know a few years ago, 401s were 104s. Okay, all right? They depleted so fast. The average life expectancy of a job today is about 3.5 years. The average college kid today will change jobs 15 to 20 times in their lifetime now. So what I consider a retirement building plan is nothing more than a temporary savings program until you let go to the next job. With prepaid legal, ladies and gentlemen, you're building a residual income, a book of business on what you personally do and what your organization produces. And that's an ongoing stream of income. Pay very close attention to this, all right? Tomorrow I'll be flying back to Atlanta, Georgia. If I didn't make it home, pray that I do. But if I did not make it home, ladies and gentlemen, in corporate America, my wife Beverly's lifestyle might change, okay? But in prepaid legal, it will not change a bit, because the income continues on to my wife Beverly. If something happens to both my wife and I, my 2 sons will inherit the income. If something happens to both my sons, my 3 grandchildren will inherit the income. Someday my great-great-great-grandchildren, which I probably will never have met, okay, will be walking through one of my homes, all right, by a fireplace. My picture will be on the mantle, will be mandatory. Full length, too. Full length picture, right? Now, how many believe if there's checks coming in, they might stop, take a few minutes, even have a small singing group with them? Ladies and gentlemen, you know, people remember you sometimes. When you get your birthday cards, how did you used to open them as a kid? You opened them like this. If some money fell out, you read it. If not, you went to the next one, all right? There's 2 legacies I want to leave in life. One is my good deeds and things that I've done for kids and people. And secondly is cash flow for my family so that they can live a lifestyle. And again, that's why I'm so fortunate tonight that I was blessed the opportunity to share this business with you tonight. Now, let me just take a few minutes and show you the mathematics of our business. And hopefully I didn't move this thing back too far where it might show up here, okay? All right? I'm just going to show you the concept of the mathematics of prepaid legal. And by the way, you don't even get to do this. That's what's exciting. The company does that all for you, too, all right? So you don't have any accounting department, all right? We know that our membership, prepaid legal, along with identity theft, is $35.95. Is that coming through? Yeah. Good. All right? $149 in one-time investment. You'll never do that again. Again, it's one time. All right? Tax write-off to begin with. Our commission structure starts at a little $30 advance commission. Then goes to $100. Then goes to $170. Then, $130. Okay? Then $170, what we call the manager level. And then director at $207 advance commission, okay? All right? Now, you can use whatever mathematical number, whoops, that wasn't even close, was it? Let me look that up for a little bit, all right? You can use whatever numbers you want to work with tonight. We have a number of different divisions in our company today. We have a group division, small business division, and so forth. We just had a gentleman in Atlanta, Georgia, land a little company, and they fringed 1,400 memberships, all right? Well, at $100 advance commission, that's about $140,000 commission. Would you all agree? Yeah. Do I have your attention?
Yeah.
All right, now, I'm just going to use an example of 5 memberships because most of you are going to start off part-time in prepaid legal as I did, okay? Well, let's just start with a $100 advance commission. You went out and marketed 5 memberships, that would generate an additional $500 in income. Not a lot of money, it's not going to make anybody jump off this hotel tonight, okay? But you got back your initial investment real quick, did you not? All right? And today, how many people in our country tonight could probably use an extra $500? It might save even a foreclosure on a house. Would you all agree? Yeah. Pretty significant. It's what I call mad money. Because I'm convinced all money in America is mad money. Because when you don't have any money, you're generally what? In fact, you show me somebody who doesn't smile much, I'll show you somebody who's broke. I met a guy in a Kroger grocery store one day, and the most terrible look on his face I've ever seen. I walked up to him and I said, "You're broke, aren't you?" All right, let's move on. To the left-hand side of this column, the reason I drew a line down there, we have what we call the override side. And I'm going to put $35 beside each one of these levels, okay? This represents the override side. So let's assume today that you brought me into business, and you're a commission level 1, or I'm a commission level 1, and you're commission level 2, okay? So I always start off at $30 advance commission. Let's say I went out and did 5 memberships, I made $150. Well, what's exciting is you get to make another $35 times whatever production that I did. So if I did 5 sales, you're going to earn another $177. Everybody with me? Mm-hmm. And you add that now to this 500, which is $670 in income. Per month, not a bad little part-time business, per week, $2,500 extra a month, okay? I'm sure that might make some of you nudge your seat now, all right? Now, we're going to get a little bit bigger. By the way, you grow the business by either personal production or overrides on your sales force is concerned. All right, so let's go on to commission level 3, what we call our senior associate level, $130 advance commission. And again, use an example of 5. Marketing 5 membership is $650. But now you moved up the commission structure, and we added another $35 to the equation. So it's pretty simple to understand. You now have $70 available for you. So any sales made at commission level 1, you make $70 now times whatever production is done there. So there are 5 sales there, you made $350 override. All right? If somebody else you brought in has moved to commission level 2, the difference between you and them, everybody say 35.
35.
So you'd earn another $170 there. So you have 2 people in the business, each is at a different level, each doing just 5 memberships. Your override's probably another $500 plus added to this, probably put you close to $1,200 in income Per month, not bad. Per week, $4,800 extra a month. Do I have your attention?
Yeah.
Now let's go on to manager. $170 advance commission. Again, mathematically, 5 memberships represents $850 for personal income. But we added another what? 35 to the equation. So now you have $100 available in overrides. So again, all sales made at level 1, you now make 100 times whatever production is made there. So if there are 5 sales, you made $500. If somebody else moved on to commission level 2, you now make everybody say 70.
70.
If somebody goes to level 3, everybody say 35.
35.
3 people in the business, each doing 5 memberships each. Your override is close to another $800 added to this, which puts you about $1,600 in income. Per month, not bad. Per week, $6,400 extra a month. How many here tonight can get excited over an extra $6,400?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I could.
You know, even if you're an unexcitable person, how many here tonight, if you had an extra $6,400 coming in, could pay somebody $500 just to call you up and keep you excited? Now, we are nowhere near the incomes that are being earned in the world of prepaid legal services, all right? About every 14 days or so, 15 days or so, we develop a new $100,000 income earned in the world of prepaid legal. And I think that's pretty exciting, all right?
Yeah.
Tonight, a lot of you were told before you came, I make a lot of money. I honestly don't know what you've been told, and I really don't care. But I can tell you this, whatever you've been told is the truth, man. I now make for 3 days what one time I used to make per year. And it has nothing to do with any great talent. Everybody say timing.
Time.
Now let me end up our meeting tonight and just take you to the director level, even though we go well beyond this, ladies and gentlemen. $207 advance commission. If you market at 5 memberships, it's $1,000 in income. But now you have another $35 available for you. Where it's pretty simple, again, mathematically to figure out. If you're at commission level 5 and somebody's at commission level 1, you make $130 on all commissions or all sales made at that level. If somebody else went to commission level 2, everybody say 100.
100.
Somebody goes to level 3, everybody say 70.
70.
And then level 4, everybody say 35.
35.
So we have 4 people in the business. They're just at different levels. Picture 4 McDonald's. One's doing more than the other ones are doing, okay? But your override is another $1,000 added to this, puts you at about $2,000 in income. Per month, not bad. Per week, probably about $8,000 extra a month, or close to $100,000 extra a year. How many of you tonight, if you had that coming in, could have 2 people call you up and keep you excited? Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, we are nowhere near the incomes that are being earned in the world of prepaid legal services today. And that's why tonight, I'm so excited about being here and sharing this model with you. And what a great crowd tonight. Let me compliment you on this, first of all. But this is a very exciting time of our business and about where we're ready to go, okay? Our new partners that have come aboard with us is pretty exciting because they did an analysis on our company over the last year, and they have figured it out, ladies and gentlemen, that even if you were to attempt to duplicate what we've done at this point, it would take hundreds of millions of dollars and a minimum of 5 years to even start getting the process of the legal system being put together. There's nobody like us in the world today. We have the only product in America right now that's marked down, not marked up. Think about this. The average cost of a lawyer is $200 to $300 to $400 an hour, and you have access tonight to them for what? For $26 a month. There's no greater value. When you leave here tonight, you're going to pay some retail for whatever you buy, whether it's gas or food or clothes or your house or electric or whatever you do. You're paying a markup. This is the greatest markdown product that you've ever seen. Somebody asked me not too long ago, they said, well, Dave, how fast could you actually do a prepaid legal membership meeting? I said, probably about 2 minutes. I said, well, why didn't you do it tonight? I said, well, actually, I wanted to hear myself. But I had the greatest lesson, and I always love to tell a story that was given to me at a Kroger grocery store in the North Georgia Mountains. I was went down to get a few little items one morning. My wife Beverly sent me down. It was a brand new Kroger grocery store. And there was a little lady in front of me. She had the whole store with her in a basket. One light was lit, so we were all standing there. And I thought, well, I'll be the good Samaritan today. I'll just help her load everything up. And I put everything on the conveyor belt for her. I was really helping her. About that time, she pulls out of her purse a little card about this big. You already know what it is, but I had never seen it. All right? And she handed this little card to the lady across the counter who scanned it over her glass screen, ran all of her groceries. At the end of it, she said, by the way, ma'am, you saved $12.40. Now, I had some groceries, but I did not have this card. And finally, I leaned down to this little old lady, and I said, ma'am, what card did you give that lady? She said, I gave her my Kroger card. And I said, well, can I borrow it? She said, go get your own. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the #1 income earner in prepaid legal, but I got They get a big kick because you know even when I go on Wednesdays because you get a senior citizen. So he says, "You're kidding, Dave." I said, "No, when I found out you got a senior citizen discount on Wednesday, I thought that was a big deal. Would you all agree?" I'm 5%.
Really?
Yeah. You didn't know that? You got your Kroger card? See? Well, you're not a senior citizen yet, are you?
Oh, yeah.
Are you? Well, I ain't telling anybody. You don't look like a senior citizen. All right. Well, here, by the way, let me see your keys. Let me see what you've got.
Oh,
Here,
I've got a lot.
hang on.
I'm going to keep that.
Let me see what you've got. Okay? Would you mind standing up?
Sure.
Let's see what she's got. She's got a Kia card. You must have a Kia car.
I won the car.
You won the car?
Absolutely.
You know, my wife won one not too long ago. Here's your preferred, is this what? This is Albertson?
Yeah.
Got to have one of those. How many of you all got one of those?
In Florida.
Okay, how about here? How about Petco? Anybody got a Petco card? How about here? Here's another card. How about this one? Borders. Got a Borders card?
Yeah.
All right, here's another one. Here's another one called Scorecard. I don't know what that is, but probably you should have one. Shoes? We got it? Here's another one called the Beauty Club. I was a member of that once. Here's another one. It's called My Panera, right? Panera Bread. I saw that. Isn't that good thing, right? She's got all these cards. You know, it goes on and on. Here's another one. CVS. Anybody got one of those?
Yeah.
Here's a Kroger card. Got a Kroger card. Here's another one here. This is Ace Hardware. Anybody got one of those? Here's another one here. What's this one here?
I can't see it.
Well, either can I. So it's another card, right? And you got them all. And then last but not least, you got Victoria's Secret. Yeah, this is Victoria's Secret right here. Yeah. Give her a big round of applause. Will you, right? I did that in New York one night, and I'm very careful. The gentleman in the front row gave me his keychain. His wife was sitting right beside me. And I went through all of them, and I got to, and I was having a little fun with him, and I said, "And Victoria's Secret." And before I had a chance to respond, his wife jumped straight up. She said, "Victoria's Secret? You ain't never bought me nothing." She beat that guy all the way out the door. And I never had a chance to explain he didn't have a Victoria's Secret card. Neither did she, at least with her. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, here's the point I'm trying to make to all of our guests tonight. Why do you have these cards in your keychain? Because you're smart. And you're smart because you want to save money. Would you all agree? And I will guarantee you, all you ladies are good shoppers. And one of the things, if you left your Kroger card out in the car, and you had a basket full of things, that basket would sit in that Kroger store. You went back out in that car and got that Kroger card because you're going to watch and make sure you save your family money. Would you all agree? Now here's the whole point I want to tell you this. As I pointed to you tonight, you don't sell this product. This is nothing but a show and tell. If I have to sell you tonight, then really I didn't do a very good job. Okay? The most crowded grocery store in America right now is the legal grocery store. 52% of your country's already in line. Half your country gets a divorce. 60% of second marriages fail. I don't even go to the third area. I don't even know where that goes. All right? So, I mean, there's all kinds of issues and challenges. Now, it's not if you're going to be in that line, everybody say when.
When?
Now, if you're in that line, and this little lady in front of you has a prepaid legal membership card, and you know that this loaf of bread is $200 to $400 an hour, and she pulls that card out and hands it to the lady crosses on the screen on the other side, and they scan it, and it's $26 a month. Tell me you're not going to lean over and say, "Hey, lady, what card did you just give that person?" Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, this may be the most important card you ever have on your keychain this evening. And I hope tonight you make a decision to do this, all right? Number one, own the membership. Use it. Get your will started tomorrow morning. If you see the vision of getting involved in our program, we'd love to have you as part of it. There's no large investment to do this. In fact, the fact of the matter is, when you really think about it, if you only marketed a half a dozen memberships a year, just skipping and tripping and falling, you'd pay for your own membership, would you not? All right? So tonight, I just want to thank Keith and Carol and all of our executive directors here, and all of my good friends came down from Elkhart, Indiana, from all of you from Fort Wayne, and some of you have traveled a long way. And Janet, it's good to see one of my old high school classmates. And by the way, we didn't have a very big class. All right? So if you didn't remember anybody in your class, you were in big trouble because there were only, 78 of us, wasn't there? All right? God bless everybody tonight. Thank you for being here. By the way, I'll come back because I'm going to be here tonight. We'll take about a 10-minute break. If you want to come back and just spend another 20 minutes with me, I'll share some information with you. And for our guests tonight, let me just kind of give you a little idea of what I did with prepaid legal. I got in prepaid legal to make an extra $1,000 a week. But when I started recognizing where this business was going, my third year in prepaid legal, I made $1.2 million. And that was back a long time ago. And it hadn't been that bad since. Today I have a multiple seven-figure residual income in prepaid legal. And I'd like to share with you how I did that and give you some concept and understanding of that. So with that tonight, please have a blessed tomorrow, very prosperous tomorrow. Thank you tonight for being here. And again, thank Keith and Carol for giving me the opportunity to come to Indianapolis, Indiana.
Yeah, I did.